Welcome to the All Around Joe podcast. We optimize your human performance from my personal experience as an athlete, coach, and all-around self-improvement junkie. This edition of the All Around Joe podcast is coming to you straight from Truckee, California, where I am currently sitting in the woods outside of the Truckee courthouse. Just happens to be right next to the library where we're getting stellar internet sitting in the parking lot of the closed library right now, which is not something that we get all that often. In fact, it's about 50 megabytes per second up and down, which is absolutely awesome. So in this podcast, I'm going to be talking about fitness anywhere because we're in this new lifestyle of how you can do fitness or how you can make fitness be a part of your life anywhere, because a lot of these gyms are not opening up again, or at least they're not going to for some time. So you have to figure out a way of being fit and being healthy wherever you are. And a lot of it doesn't have anything to do with the routines that you have available to you, because there's tons of routines all over. You know, I have a routine myself, the Get Better Project, if you guys would like to join that. But the thing is, there's routines all over YouTube, all over Instagram. There's, these celebrity fitness people that are sometimes a joke that are publishing routines that you can do anywhere you would like to. There's gym equipment that you can get for your house, all of that stuff. But I think that most of it comes down to the mindset that you have behind it and how you're going to wrap your mind around getting into a new routine of not going somewhere to do things like fitness. And this could be not only for fitness or working out, but for your job as well. So if you've compartmentalized your life into places, meaning that like you have your home and you do home things at home, and then you go to your job or your office and you do work things at your office, and then you go to the gym and you work out at the gym, and there's these places that are representative of where you're doing certain tasks. If that is how your life has been set up, then you're going to have probably a pretty hard time adapting, unless you're just the type of person that adapts really well. So you have to wrap your mind around creating these new routines in these new places, which for a lot of people, especially if you're a kinesthetic person or that like the touch and feel of things is how it makes you learn really well. You've been learning that you go someplace to do things your whole life. Like you're not really, you go to school to learn. Although homework and things like that, I guess it's different depending on where you are in your life. You go someplace to work, you go someplace to go to the gym. So what I would recommend doing is really trying to think about what the differences are. So how is it different when you go someplace else to work or when you go someplace else to work out? Like really, what are the different feelings that you're getting in the environment, and how can you replicate that in your current space? For example, when we first moved into the van, we were trying to replicate that same kind of going to the gym thing outside of the van in the campsites or the campgrounds or wherever we were, parking lots. If you've followed me on Instagram, you probably see me working out in the Starbucks parking lots a few times. So that wasn't easy at first. I had to wrap my mind around what the differences were and what I was looking for. And a lot of it for me just had to be getting into the routine. So I had to set everything up. So let's say, for example, that I was going to do a workout in a parking lot, which is probably the least comfortable place to do a workout that I could imagine, because there's people driving by and wondering what you're doing, and you have to find an open parking space and all this stuff. So I would put out a towel or a mat, and that would represent where I was going to. That was like my workout space, if that makes sense. And I wouldn't even necessarily have to do the workout on the mat or the towel, but that represented the space for me for some reason. So when I put that mat out, then it was kind of like that's where I'm going to go into workout mode, because that mat or that towel is out. And then I just go into the routine of what I'm going to be doing, because we talked about already, you probably already have the routine for the at-home or the bodyweight style workout, but you have to create the space. So if you're going to be working out in your yard, or if you're going to be working out in your basement, or you're going to be working out in, a spare bedroom or whatever, I would try and set up the things around you that are going to represent the routine that you're going to create. So that, for me, like that was the towel or the mat. I would also grab the dumbbells or the kettlebells that I was going to use, and I'd put those out as well. And once they were out, it became pretty easy. There was a barrier at first for getting to the point of putting those things out, because it's like, oh, I've got to open up the door and then the ottoman, and I got to kind of like be really careful carrying the kettlebell out of the van so I don't bump anything. And then I have to put it out there, and maybe my towel is blowing away because it's not an ideal environment because it's windy when you're out in the outdoors a lot or in a parking lot or wherever. So I had to get over that. And all of these little things were barriers. So I had to get over just the starting of it. Another thing that I should mention that was a barrier early on was what workout we were going to do. Because I mentioned earlier, there are workouts everywhere. But if you commit to something that you're going to be doing every single day, and that's why I recommend paying for your workout program, whether it be mine or some other workout program, because it gives you more incentive to do it every single day, and you don't have to think about what you're going to do. So a lot of times people say, oh yeah, there's workouts everywhere. I can go on bodybuilding.com, I can go on YouTube and find a celebrity workout or whatnot. But unless they're set up so that you're getting these workouts and you're logging your results with the program every single day, it doesn't come as easy. So once you've committed and you're into it, and this is something that, like I had mentioned earlier, we didn't do very well because we weren't following our own program. The Get Better Project wasn't a thing right at the start of the van life, and then we got into it about 6 months or so into the van life where Emily and I started writing the workouts beforehand. So we'd get, read a month of workouts and, do it all on a spreadsheet and make sure they all fit together. And then when those workouts would come up, we'd have something to just follow. So it wasn't a barrier. The barrier then became, all right, we've got the workout. Now, where are we going to do it based off of what the workout is programmed? Do we need space to run? Do we need, a mat for the burpees or for, do we need a kettlebell for kettlebell swings? What do we need? So the workout was there. Then the next barrier became the space. And then we'd figure out how we're going to get over that barrier. For me, like I said, it was a towel and the mat, putting out the dumbbells or the kettlebell. And then it was mostly that the routine was just followed. So then I just got into the routine, followed it, and next thing you know, it was completely done, and it became more and more comfortable. And their barriers are not always going to just knock themselves down, and it's going to be as easy as walking through the gym door, especially if you're changing environments. Like we are. Right now, I could go do a workout in the parking lot of the library, but that's going to be a completely new barrier for me because it's different than the last time I worked out in a parking lot. Not all parking lots are the same, and maybe that wouldn't be a barrier for you necessarily, but it is for me. So you have to consider these things. And if you're going to be working out in your basement, that might be different, where you have everything set up, then you have the routine that you're following, you have someone like the Get Better Project that you're logging your scores with so that they are looking for your scores every single day, so you have that responsibility to do it. And then you just have to go downstairs and know that all of the equipment that you need is ready for you to take action on doing it. And then the doing it part is actually really easy. And for most people that I coach, I will tell them to start off with just doing 5 minutes. And if 5 minutes, if you start moving and doing the warm up for 5 minutes and you don't feel like doing it after that, then just stop and no big deal after that. And but I would say maybe 99% of the time, people will come back at me and say that they started the 5 minute workout and then they just finished it. Because once they got started and they got moving, then it was easy. But that barrier was the getting started portion. So just commit to the 5 minutes because that sounds easier. And then get started and see if the 6 minute comes easy to you. And if it does, then roll through it. And if it doesn't, then stop. So find your space that you're going to be doing your workout in. Put things out there so that it feels familiar like a workout area. Follow a program so that you have some responsibility to follow that program and log your results for the program, because that will get you pushed through that barrier and it gets you into the routine of doing that. And then just commit yourself to doing 5 minutes. So if you commit to doing the 5 minutes, even if you don't feel like it, then chances are that 6 minute will come pretty darn easy for you. And the rest is really gravy. So if you've set up the time, like schedule it in your calendar to work out. I always schedule mine in my calendar. And, even if I have other people doing it, I invite them into that calendar invite. It's a commitment thing. And it's a commitment thing for when I'm going to start and stop my work throughout the day. So you have all of those things in place that will stack up and give you momentum into creating the results that you're looking for. So I hope this was beneficial for you guys. This is exactly how it worked for me. This is exactly how I got over these barriers personally in a situation that I feel like is much harder or has more barriers than somebody that's just going in their basement or they're at home working out, because our home changes spaces and becomes more or less inconvenient every single day. So if you're just sitting at home, that should be easier for you. But if you want to get in the van life and you can, then these are barriers that you can overcome easily as well. I actually have a little lizard that's climbing down on this log that I'm doing the podcast on and is looking at the camera there. So I'm sorry, you guys, I can't flip it around so you can see him, but maybe he'll run in front of the camera. And there was a sign, I should mention, there's a sign as I walked into this forest that said, "Don't feed the bears." But I haven't seen any bears yet. So if there is a bear, I will grab the camera and show it to you, but I don't think we're going to see any bears today. So this is Joe, All Around Joe, coming from Truckee, California. Hope you guys are doing well. If you'd like to get 2 free weeks of the Get Better Project, head over to thegetbetterproject.com/2 weeks. We'd love to have you and show you what our program is all about, including the weekly athlete check-ins and all the things that we do to ensure that you're getting results and your whole life is taken care of, or at least thought of, meaning from like workouts, nutrition, sleep, stress, all that stuff, because you're a complete person. So we look at you like that and we coach you in that particular manner. And we have at-home workouts that require zero equipment, all the way up to workouts that require full gym equipment every single day, coaching videos, all that fun stuff. So if you'd like that, head over to getbetterproject.com/2 weeks. And if you guys would just like to follow along in my journey and our journey, Instagram is a place to do it usually. You can also do Facebook, but it feels like people are liking to follow on Instagram more these days because it's more visual and it just seems to be easier to follow along. But we're at All Around Joe, the Get Better Project, or the Vantastic Life if you want to follow and see more van pictures and things like that. So the All Around Joe is pretty much my personal stuff, fitness-y, nutrition-y, all that type of stuff. The Get Better Project is very focused in on helping to, solve problems for people with fitness and nutrition and posting about that stuff and overcoming things and testimonials and all that stuff. And then the Vantastic Life is van pictures, where the van is, where we are camping, and that kind of stuff. And if you guys are watching this on YouTube or Facebook, you can see that the trees are shedding needles and things like that all around me. So it's probably time to get out of here. All right, guys, follow along. Let me know if you need anything. I'm always here for you. And I will see you on the next podcast. The All Around Joe Podcast. We optimize your human performance from my personal experience as an athlete, coach, and all-around self-improvement junkie. I will see you on the next podcast.